Hey, I'm Randy, and I'm the cheap audio man. Thanks for coming to my channel to watch things about amps. Here at the Cheap Audio Man, we don't feel like audio should cost as much as replacing your AC unit or heater so that you can stay comfortable during any season that the nature throws at you. Yeah, yeah. And these don't. They don't. These two amp combos are probably the best deal out there right now. So grab a cup of coffee, sit down, and let's talk about the Iotavx SA3, the Iotavx PA3, the Emotiva TA100, and the Emotiva A300. These are both basics, base X. Oh boy. Saturday amp shootout this week. I know I'm changing it up. That's okay. We can have fun doing these too. So what we're going to do is first a word from our sponsor. Yeah, Lance's storage storage things from old salsa jars. You know what Lance does? Is he goes rummages through everybody's trash and picks out the salsa jars and then puts them in a dishwasher and resells them to people and makes money off of your garbage. They're still a good value though. Okay, so what we're doing today is we're going to talk about these two amp stacks. Let's just call them integrated amps and associated power amps. Okay, we're going to talk about these two, what makes them different, what makes them both good, and which one is the right thing for you. So let's talk about power. First, just the integrateds. Very similar. The Iotavx, I get them mixed up. SA3. 45 watts into 8 ohms. 90 watts into 4 ohms. Emotiva TA100. 50 watts into 8. 90 watts into 4. You don't think that's enough power? I disagree. Both of them drove the ELAC Unify UB5 first generation, 85 dB sensitivity, nominal impedance 4 ohms, but it dips like into the threes. Both did an admirable job. When they were hooked up to their associated preamps, they did a better job, but it wasn't significant. So let's talk about the sonic differences between these two. Okay, and that also applies when they're hooked up to their amps as well. So the biggest difference that I saw in these was when the tone controls were flat, 0, 0, I felt like the Iotavx had more of a treble presence than the Emotiva. I'm not going to say that it was more detailed. I'm just going to say it had more treble presence. When I brought down the treble on the Iota, like -2, they sounded almost indistinguishable. Like I couldn't, like if someone blindfolded me and switched them out, I don't think I could tell the difference. Some may say that the Iota VX has a bit more treble clarity. I don't know. I didn't hear it. And I was running the same source into both of these amps. Okay, so I took their internal DACs out of the picture. I had an external DAC and was running digital music through both of them. Okay, so let's talk about other differences. The Emotiva has fewer analog inputs. They both have phono stages. Besides the phono stage, the TA100 has 2 analog inputs. Besides the phono stage on the Iota, it has 5 analog inputs. We're also going to flip these around, take a closer look at them on the back, and then I'm going to show you how to hook up the power amp. because on the Iotavx, it's a little bit different than most. The TA100 has 2 sub-outs. The Iotavx SA3 has 1 sub-out. Emotiva has 3 DAC inputs: coax, digital, full-size USB, like the printer cable USB. Iotavx has 2 digital inputs, okay? Coax, optical, okay? So if your sound card has an optical, it doesn't matter. You can run your computer. If it doesn't, you're going to have to figure out how to get USB in here, okay? And I think there are like optical to USB like converters, okay? Just bear in mind though, if you get the Iotavx, you're not going to have a USB input. Emotiva has a FM tuner, okay? Other than that, they're pretty similar. I don't know where the... Here it is. Hold on. I'm going to go over my shoulder. Can you hear all that? Remote controls. Iotavx has a better remote control. It has all the inputs at the touch of a button. It has the tone controls pretty much at a touch of a button. And I think this also can do their CD player. I think, if they have a CD player. I don't know. Obviously, I haven't done a lot of homework on this. All right. Has regular batteries. Okay. I like regular batteries because when they go dead, I can usually find them under the couch or under the seat of my car. At least there's a higher likelihood that I'm going to find more batteries for that than for this, which is one of the flat, I don't know, 2035 or 2032 CR. Charlie Romeo. Okay. This remote, it's not as good as the Iotavx by a pretty significant amount. However, it works just fine. I use it all the time. It's functional. It's functional, okay? And at this price, I mean, go buy a universal remote if you hate this remote. Don't let the remote be like the tipping factor for either of these. But the Iota's pretty solid. Pretty solid, okay? So, let's turn them around. We're going to get a closer look at the back of the Iota, and I'm going to show you how to hook it up and get basically twice the power. Okay? So let's turn the Iotavx around and look at it more closely. All right, with the with the Iotavx. So here's all your analog inputs. Here is your, you can't even see it. Hold on. There we go. I'm not going to touch it either. This is the second time I've done the video because I had both amps running. And apparently that's not a real good idea to have a microphone real close to a whole bunch of voltage. Go figure. All right, so here is, well, let's do it this way, Randall. Here is the ground for the phono input, analog ins for the phono, subwoofer. Let's find something to point. Let's find a pointer. Let's see. Stay with me. Stay with me. All right, here we go. Here's your sub out. All right, I'm going to switch this around. I feel like I'm trying to get the pop the lock on my car with a, I don't know, a coat hanger. Speakers, obviously. Here are your digitals, coax, optical. Here's your triggers out. You have a dimmer line out. Not sure, pretty whatever. RS232 serial port. And then you have your you're in a voltage changers, depending upon where you're at in the world. Okay, so let's show you how to connect the power amp. All right, so if you can see here, there's a switch. Okay, that switch is either in stereo or it's mono / bridged. Okay, so the PA3 down here is the exact same amplifier that's in the SA3. That's right, SA3. I finally got it right. Okay, so the way that you get more power out of this is you have to bridge the amp. It's a little different for bridging the amp than some that I've seen, especially in car audio. All right, so to bridge it, you hook your RCAs up. Oh, these are really tough. Hook your RCAs up, RCA outs up, excuse me, preamp, and then you just plug it in down here. All right, and then you got another pre-out if you want to go into something else. All right, so let's move that over, see if we can. Anyway, you get the idea. All right, you plug it in there. I'm gonna move this out. All right, so to bridge it, obviously you have to put in mono bridged, okay? It's really important. And then you connect the speaker outs on the outer ones, and it says mono right down here. So that's where you want to do. All right, and then you do the same thing down here. All right, and then what happens is you basically have you have your integrated running one channel, you have your PA3 running the other channel. Okay, and that takes the power, it doubles it. Okay, so now you have 90 watts into 8 ohms, and you have 180 watts going into 4 ohms. Okay, so I think we covered it all. Yep, looks good. That's how you hook it up. Sean at Zero Fidelity also has a really good video on how to hook this guy up, or girl, or thing up. Okay, let's talk about the Emotiva and take a look at the back and look at its inputs and stuff and outputs. All right, so here's the back of the Emotiva. I actually pulled the integrated further back because the power amp is actually a fair bit deeper. Okay, so on the back here you have your phono ground. This phono ground's made out of metal. It's frankly better than the one that's on the Iotavx. It also has a moving coil or moving magnet phono input, whereas the Iotavx only has a moving magnet. Okay, so here you have actually 2 sub outs. Okay, and it looks like an RCA out, but what it really is 2 summed subwoofer outs. Okay, so you can hook up 2 subs with this. All right, then you have your main pre-outs. Okay, FM tuner antenna connection. Here's your DAC area. Okay, so you have a coax, an optical, and a full-size USB. All right, and then you have your Bluetooth USB input. Neither one of these have Bluetooth out of the box. Okay, so they don't have a Bluetooth receiver. But you know what? You can get better receivers out there for, I don't know, 50, 60 bucks. You can get a really nice LDAC Bluetooth receiver. The Topping BC3, very good. You have 1 trigger out, speaker connections, obviously. Okay, this one has internal sensing for the voltage, so you don't have to flip a switch on the back. Okay, down here on the power amp, you have more triggers. You have your status LEDs. You can turn them on or turn them off if you don't like the blue light. And then here's your RCA inputs. So this one is more traditional. Here, I want to make sure I get the colors right. All right, so you just go ahead and you hook these up to the RCA outs. Bum, bum, bum. The white is left. Oh my gosh, this cord is so thick. gosh. Don't use this cord for a DAC, a smaller DAC, because it just shoves it right off the table. And then you have your traditional speaker outs down here. Thing about this one is you're not using any of the integrated amp to drive any of your speakers. It's all being done through here. Okay, this power amp is 150 into 8 and 300 watts into 4. Okay, so it's nearly double, and it is double the power for sure, into 4 ohms. Okay, so 180, and so it's more powerful than the Iotavx stack. Okay, you have a lot of power with the Iotavx. So I mean, yes, power is important. You're gonna have plenty with the Iotavx though. Okay. Anyway, let's talk about my final thoughts. Okay, I was gonna go into the tone controls, but I have to turn them on, and then I get awful feedback. The bottom line is both tone controls can be actuated or operated on the front of both the amps. It's a little bit tricky on both. Okay, for the Iotavx, it's a long press on the volume. It opens up the treble, bass, and balance. On the Emotiva, you press the volume once, and then there's 2 buttons on the front, and you have to mess with those. They're both a little bit wonky, but I will say if you do it 10 times, you're going to know how to do it. So that is what it is. And I think, anyway, I'll save that for the final slide. Let's talk about my final thoughts. So final thoughts on these are, they're both winners. Okay, they do have some different sonic characteristics. The Iota, as I said before, is a bit more trebly. Okay, they're both great. If pure power is what you need, then the Emotiva is probably the way to go. If you need multiple, if you have a moving coil, I think that's how you say it, cartridge on your cassette, I don't know, cartridge, it's getting late, then you got to get the TA100. I would argue, though, that if you have that moving coil cartridge, cassette, no, it's cassette. Yeah, I don't know. I'm tired. If you have that, then you're probably going to have maybe an outboard phono amp, but you don't need to with this one. That's the point. These are both great values. At $400 for the integrateds, or 400 pounds, you're getting the best value out there. You're getting a DAC, you're getting a phono stage, you're getting great quality. Both of these are direct consumer brands. I feel, in my experience of dealing with what I've dealt with, that you get more for your money when you're buying a direct to consumer brand. It's great because the Iotavx is more accessible to people in Europe. The Emotiva, you can get it in Europe and other places, but if with shipping and with import duties and things like that, the value prop can be greatly reduced. I don't know about the global distribution for either of these, but I do know that sometimes folks overseas have a harder time getting the Emotiva. Okay? Both winners, both awesome, more trebly, fine. You know what? If power is what you need, you can buy the Iotavx and you can add something more powerful and hook it right up. Okay, that's the great thing about these, is you're not locked into just the integrated. Both have pre-outs, both have associated amps. You can add more amp or a different amp as you see fit. They're awesome. I know this was not really a which is better kind of video. I think they're both better depending upon what you want, what you like. With a really warm speaker, the Iotavx is going to bring that speaker up. You're going to have a very balanced situation. I feel like the Emotiva is more neutral. So I don't think the Emotiva is going to color the speaker as much as the Iotavx. If you have a really detailed, lively speaker on the top end, this might be a bit much for that speaker. However, tone controls, okay? And I know tone controls only affect, one frequency, and then, affects the surrounding frequencies to a lesser extent. I think it sounded great. With brighter speakers or more lively speakers, I just brought down the treble a bit. Okay, so I appreciate you watching. If you're new here, subscribe. We like to have fun. We like to tell a few jokes. One of the comments I got was that I'm not funny. Probably not. We have a Twitter at Cheap Audio Man. We have Facebook, The Cheap Audio Man. We have a Patreon. If you contribute, you want to support the channel, we have weekly Zooms. I also get on Zooms with people individually. If you just want to chat, hang out, talk about audio. You want to try Amazon Music HD for free. There's a link in the description. Click on the link, scroll down to the bottom of the page, click Try HD. And then you get 3 months for free, and I get a couple of dollars. I do have a affiliate link, which means I get a commission if you click on it and then you buy something from Emotiva. I do not have an affiliate link for Iotavx, but I'm going to go ahead and link their company anyway. So if you want to buy it, you can just click on it. Any of the links in there, with the exception of the Iotavx, I do have affiliates with, so I will get a little bit of a commission off of that. Okay? So I think that does it for this Saturday amp shootout, which really wasn't a shootout. It's just kind of comparing the two. Appreciate you coming in and watching. Go check out some of the other videos if you'd like. And I'm Randy, and I'm the Cheap Audio Man.